Hello everybody, welcome along to this video. Mr. Johnson teaches Macbeth, Act 3, Scene 5. Part of the series of videos which I'm doing, recapping each and every scene in the play to try and support you as you move into towards your GCSEs. A reminder that when we talk about GCSE, that Macbeth sits on the Literature GCSE and it's part of Paper 1, Section A, making it the first question that you will answer on your English exams out of any of them. So let's move on then without any further ado and have a look. In summary then, first thing I wanted to say about this scene is it's a scene that some people believe was actually added to the play by somebody else. Without going into it, making this video too long, Shakespeare's plays were published after his death using sort of leftover bits of script, and sometimes when they performed plays, they'd perform it and then a few years later they'd perform it again, and sometimes they made changes to it to try and improve it. It seems very likely that somebody added this scene with HECATE in it in order to sort of, they think, make it more supernatural. But let's just sort of put that to one side. All it means for you is that I think it's quite unlikely that they choose this scene to sort of print in the exam, but it doesn't mean that we can't talk about it and we should ignore it because it features in the play. So Hecate is angry. She's the goddess of witchcraft, as you'll see in a minute, and she's angry that the other witches didn't involve her when they dealt with Macbeth. She says then to meet her at the pit of Acheron, where she will create a spell to destroy Macbeth. So actually it's a really exciting scene, setting up the bits. And there they are, the characters in here. So we've got the witches who we've met before, and we haven't seen them actually for quite a while in the play now, not since Act 1, Scene 3. And Hecate, as I mentioned a minute ago, sometimes said Hecate, she is the goddess of witchcraft. So she's a truly evil character. Then we're on Act 3, Scene 5, as it says it's a heath again, so it's a bit of a wild location. Look, and the first witch says, "Look, you look angrily," and then Hecate goes on with this long and angry spiel. The first arrow points out then she's angry the witches didn't involve her when they were dealing with Macbeth. That's why it says to bear my part, like your part into something, to join in. And the second arrow then, it's just pointing out to you that all of this is spoken in rhyme. Once again, we've got the idea of the witches sounding like they're chanting or in their spell. And that's really important to talk about when you look at the play, is if you are writing about the witches at any point, make sure you say that, because a lot of students won't. They'll talk about the words, but they won't talk about the form, and that's what you call it, the form of the play. And then that's something I would say then, the fact it sounds like a spell. Like let's say the pit of Acheron is meant to be in Hades, which is hell. And then my second arrow down there as well, just pointing out to you, we've got lots and lots of references to like darkness again. So we've got distilled in magic slates, there's the moon mentioned there, death is mentioned, there's a lot of darkness. And finally, my last arrow there is Macbeth has tried to control his own destiny, is what she says there, when he hopes above wisdom, grace and fear. Like Macbeth believes he's above everything. And then she goes on to say he's too confident and proud, he's going to be punished for this. It's mortal's chiefest enemy. He's a mortal and it's going to be his enemy, his own pride. So key themes that come up in this scene, well, we've got the supernatural, of course, featuring the witches there, so there's something which is featured a number of times during the play. Pride and hubris, which I'm going to talk about on my next slide, so I won't deal with hubris too much for a minute in case that's a new word for you, but also destiny. Are the witches controlling Macbeth's future, or is he in control of his own? And it's a theme which runs throughout the play. Quick revision questions just to check your own understanding of this scene, which I'd like you to have a go at writing down somewhere to make them a good part of your revision. And finally, hubris is another word to do with ego. It's your own belief in yourself and how you feel about your own self. And some hubris is associated with overconfidence, being too full of yourself, and therefore it almost blinds you to makes you make mistakes because you so strongly believe in what you're doing that you don't notice your own errors. You're not very self-aware. Macbeth definitely starts demonstrating hubris as he moves to this point in the play. He's now going back to the witches. He's already killed his best friend and killed the king. He's starting to become very, well, he said in the previous scene, he's stepped in blood so far that it's almost harder to go back than it is to keep killing. And his hubris is almost making him believe he's going to get away with these crimes. And that is the end of this video, so I'll say thank you for watching it. A very brief scene. Do check out my other videos with other key scenes explored as well, and I wish you the very best of luck when it comes to your exams. Thank you very much, and goodbye.